Yeah, would you be able to hand over host to me? That way I can move the pieces. Okay. So you're playing Shiken Bisha, that's fourth file rook. Okay. Um, and this is the first thing that when the opponent plays the silver up, that you have to be kind of vigilant about. And the reason is because you can redeploy the bishop down here and start attacking along this diagonal. So against that, what you want to do is be able to, in time, move the rook over to this file in order to prevent the exchange. So what move do you think you should have played here? Make the board a little bit bigger. Not sure. Okay, so in order to get the rook, you need to get the rook to this square. Try to figure out how you can do that. 6-8 pawn. You mean 6-6 pawn? Like this? Right, that's 6-6 pawn. And then you move the silver here, and then the rook here. So the bishop moves here, and it's a good thing that the rook pawn is still on 8-4. If you're on 8-5, you'd be a move too late. So here, here, and then here. So you prevent the exchange of bishops, and more important, also kind of more importantly, you stop him from exchanging off his rook pawn. Now let's say he does a move like this first. See, not in this situation, you would be a move too late. He'd be able to push here. So you have to be very careful about small details like this. So usually in a lot of Shiken Bisha games, this pawn is up like this. There's variations where you leave the bishop's diagonal open, but you still have to worry about that, this idea. So let's say he plays like this, then already you have to consider doing this. That way you can exchange, stop the exchange. Okay. All right. So that was the first thing. So already it's too late to prevent it. Yeah. Okay. So you have to worry about this move and this move, this and this. Okay. So already he's gonna get a good game. Yeah. Yeah, it's very important that when you start out, you don't I guess get too engrossed with your own play and think, well, I just learned this castle or opening, and I'm gonna play moves, on my side. And because this is shogi and the pieces don't get into the game as fast as chess, maybe you'll have more leeway about what you can do on your side. Well, as you can see from this example, that totally throws that out of the window. The play can come extremely fast, and you always have to pay attention to what the opponent is doing. Otherwise, you'll end up in a really passive or just really bad position. I was trying to play fast because I didn't want to get into time trouble. I normally think a long time in the opening. Oh, okay. Yeah, what was the time control in this game? Was it 15 minutes? $10:30. Yeah, when you're starting out, it might be preferable to try and play longer games. And when you start to get better, um, more experienced with your opening, then you're not spending as much time figuring out what to do early on. That ends up saving you a lot of time. So part of the reason I'm a real practical aspect of learning openings is in order to save you time, so that when you're playing, you can save it for later on. Okay, so here, yeah, very similar to chess. Okay, so here, you have to be careful about what he's going to do in this area. If you drop a pawn here and he moves the thing back, you notice you can drop the bishop here, and you're going to end up winning this lance. But on the other hand, he can drop like this, and then you guys both get lances. But the problem with this one is he's going to be able to drop the pawn here, whereas you're not going to be able to do the same thing on this area. So that means he's going to end up winning material. So this situation is better for white. But you played here instead. I guess one thing you can do is just promote here. If you drop, let's say, bishop like this, and he pulls back, then you no longer have this bishop drop move here. And he also still has this pawn drop. If you do here, he can take here, and then drop a pawn here. Although it does get a little bit complicated because you do have this. Well, actually, you're going to lose more material. So against this, maybe defend like here. So this thing ends up in semi-I. But if here, then I guess you can drop lance like this. Whoops! Oh no! Shoot! That's one of the things I don't like about this interface. It doesn't save variations, so you have to put everything back. Um, so if here, then here. So the material is still even, but on the other hand, I'm not sure. I'm not sure he even needed to go into this. He might have other alternatives. That's the only thing. For instance, maybe he could do like this or like this in order to prevent the maybe here. That way he still threatens this next, and he cuts out your counterplay. But then here and here, um, this might still be a game, but um, it seems a little bit more passive for your side. But maybe you'll be able to fight back better than what happened in the game. Probably it's best just to avoid their plan instead of playing into these messes. Yeah, I mean, for sure, you needed to stop the exchange like this, but the thing is, this is the situation you're in, and you have to figure out how to handle it. So it doesn't make sense to, kind of, I guess, mentally abandon the game. You have to just make do with what happened. And so that's why I'm showing this. But yeah, definitely, earlier on you should have avoided all of this. Okay. So if pawn here, then pawn here, right? If here, yeah, this is going to end up really good for white. Okay. So he kind of gave you a slight reprieve by moving on. So yeah, don't forget stuff like this. It's and he's offering to exchange, like give up a bishop for gold, but you see in return he gets to promote the rook, so he gets breakthrough. I guess another, but it might not, even this might not be completely clear because of this. I don't know, maybe still better for white. Okay. Okay, so he messes up the shape by doing that, and he continues like this. The thing that I didn't like about this is that you notice he doesn't have pawns in hand, and he also can't drop the rook here immediately because of what happened in the game. On the other hand, this gold here isn't, it's not ideally placed. Usually you prefer the thing to be here. So did you have something else? You do threaten to do this. So because he didn't take opportunities later on, the position is slowly turning around. Okay, and this was blunder. So maybe you can do this, but he'd trap it like here. So instead of that, might be able to repair the shape. And just wait. But if you do that, he might push. He might start pushing like this. And then after takes, takes, and then there's going to be space to drop the rook here on like that. So he'll eventually be able to drop the rook in your camp. Okay, so now you're winning. Okay, this is a very heavy move, but I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to do. Maybe he's threatening like this. But the thing actually isn't that bad. Maybe you can do this. But even this is still winning for you. Even this is still winning. Another thing you might be able to do is like this. And then if you want to rebuild a camp, you could do like this. Um, and maybe threaten here next. Yeah, this also looks pretty good for you. Somewhat passive. Yeah, what you did was fine. You know, when you're moving pieces around the king, you start creating weaknesses, and it's very difficult to launch an attack when your king is weak. So because you have such a large advantage, what you could do is play more cautious, well, a little bit more slowly. Like let's say here, and then just take the lance next. That looks fine. And then after you do that, what you can do is repair the the shape by moving the gold to the side, and then that way you clear the way for the rook, and maybe like start advancing the pawn. Very very simple kind of thing. Do you see why this gold isn't well placed? Yeah. Yeah. So what? Why is gold here not well placed? Yeah. Are you still there? I think it's because it's blocking the rook. Yeah. It's yeah, it's blocking the rook, and notice how far away from the king this gold is. So ideally you'd want the gold to be closer to this king. Yeah. So you think, well, I have time, I have a big material advantage, so I can spend time improving the positions of my pieces. So that repair your shape by moving the gold over. But after this, so you'll be able to find moves pretty easily. Okay, there's nothing wrong with this move. So now even you can do like this. And then notice he doesn't have pawns in hand. So maybe you can even do like a long-term plan like this. And if you really need to later on, you can even drop a gold here just to defend. But right now, you probably don't need to. Maybe here, and like this, just to make the king solid before you attack. So even now, maybe you don't even need to drop like this. Maybe you could play like this or like this. You see, this knight move was a bit committal, and there's a weakness up here. And once a knight moves, there's going to be a weakness here. So you have to be very careful about this type of moves around your king. So you're attacking in an area where, and it's making weaknesses on this file. So that means later on he's going to be able to counterattack. So it's very scary. What you do might very well work, but it's still kind of, when the thing is double-edged like that, there's a bit more error, a bit more chance that you can make errors. See, so already there's kind of some dangers around here. Yeah. I don't have a shogi danger sense yet, but it feels strange because usually when I play chess, I can tell if a move is going to be dangerous by feel. So I think if I play a bit riskier than I need to because my chess sense is okay. Yeah. Okay, so at the moment, things seem to be going okay. But the scary thing is the king is kind of exposed. Yeah. So maybe you can start trying to play moves that attack and defend at the same time like this. Another thing you can try and do is if here, then you can do this. And then you can try to counterattack, but the thing is it gets really scary. I was looking at stuff like this. If you don't get mated, I'm pretty sure this ends up winning. But he could try doing like this. And then you still have to worry about your king. And eventually he might be able to drop like knights here and here. So he's getting tempo off of, he can get tempos on your bishop and king. Very scary. So when you're attacking with a weak king, you have to be careful about what you trade because it's going to come back at you. Hmm. Yeah. There's like lingering kind of annoying stuff. Maybe I'm pretty sure you're going to be okay. I think you're at this point you're still in pretty good shape. Yeah, yeah. Byoyomi is on one hand it's better than forfeiting on time, but um, I can understand that panic might start setting in. Oh, increment, yeah. I actually prefer increment, and I really wish that they would use it in shogi, but it hasn't caught on. Yeah, it's getting kind of scary. Okay, so he's starting to get some play. Hmm. Yeah. At what point? When you played the horse to 1-1. You mean taking the gold? And then dropping the lance where? 3-5. Either that or maybe you might be able to run too. Promote the lance here. Isn't he just gonna maybe take it? Okay, so now you threaten like this. Threatens to take here. Yeah, very scary. Three-nine knight. Yeah, that would probably be okay, I think. What would he do? Yeah, maybe 3-9 knight's okay. Yeah, this one was scary. Okay, so you threaten here and here. Only thing is you can just block it, right? Or throw this in. Here, here. Or this too. This looks good. Okay. Yeah. Either mate or close to mate. Right. And I'll just throw this thing in. But the king is safe enough, so even if you don't mate him immediately. Yeah, so you defended against that. 3-7 knight might be okay. Is there anything else? if possible, you want to avoid empty checks like this. I mean, this looks pretty good. There's no mate against the king, so this looks pretty clean. Yeah, okay. All right. Did you have any questions? So what did you learn from this game? Okay. So what did we sit back when you have a big edge? Okay. What else? Okay. And yeah, make sure you pay attention to what the opponent is doing, right? So already here you have to worry about this plan. This silver coming up signals that he's probably going to be playing this, right? Anything else? Yeah, so make sure that you have good shape. So you have to, bad shape means that you're going to end up losing time to repair the shape. So the king, the situation isn't, he doesn't have, the opponent doesn't have enough force to exploit it right away, but um, when you when you're conducting your attack, you have to make sure that your king is safe. Yeah, that's very, very important. That's one of the I mean, in both chess and shogi, before you attack, make sure your king's safe. Okay. And the rest of this was kind of tactical stuff. You need a synonym for general because it confuses Japanese people. Oh, you mean like in general? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, general. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, I guess I'll end the stream. Yeah, if this helped you, please consider supporting the stream with donations. It's not necessary, but it's always, it's always welcome. In any case, I hope that this helped you out a lot. And anyway, good luck in your next games. See you later. Bye.